So here's the empty Gaylord. Turns out that it was part of it at the bottom there was a little wet. So that was pretty fun. So that's empty. Here are piles of CDs I'm going to scan, barcode up. So there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5. So almost 15 piles there. Hey, Mason Inner, how you doing? And then over here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 piles are also to be scanned. These are ones I pulled out that are no good. I'm good. That are no good for Amazon. So these are going to be ones I'm just going to put aside and put into boxes for now. And that's it. Oh no, that's not it. So also down here, this box here and that pile are ones that are missing discs or had loose discs or are missing artwork, that type of thing. And what I end up doing is once I'm done scanning, going through all these, I'll go through all those and see if there's any that'll match up, which will take not too much time, but I'll do that. These are loose CDs that I'm going to put into lots, and that's DVDs. And then this is so far what I've scanned for sale. This is I bought 4. This is a video game for FBA, and these are all merchant fulfilled here. So there's audiobooks and a couple of CDs. And then these are all eBay here. There's some random stuff here, some courses and whatnot. It turns out that this Atomic Blonde cassette tape is pretty rare. So I'm gonna list that one for about 32 bucks and see what happens. So yeah, basically that's what's happening. That's what happened today. I bought 4 Gaylords, and 2 books and 2 CDs. So I went through the CDs. I got those on yesterday. Had them delivered yesterday around midday, and then I went through about like a third of them yesterday, and then hey Marcus, and then today in the morning I spent 3 hours finishing off it was a little over 3 hours finishing off the Gaylord. So it took me probably like 4.5 or so hours to do it. And it took me a little longer because I was taking out the CDs that I already know I don't need to scan, that I've seen before. Either seen before and I know they're not good for Amazon, or I already know, like, just based on, like, sometimes there's ones that are in foreign languages that I know I scan all the time, like a lot of different, they're either like Vietnamese or they're Chinese or they're Korean or another language from Asia, and they never come up. So those I don't bother with, that type of stuff. What percentage, approximately? Hold on one second. What percentage approximately were there that were worthy of reselling individually? You mean on Amazon or on eBay? JD says 4.5 for 1 Gaylord. So of 1 CD Gaylord, yeah, by myself. Again, I don't have a Gaylord dumper or anything like that. And I've been taking out the ones that I know aren't worth scanning. So now what I have to scan is much less. I also filled up. I filled up these 2 boxes. These 2 boxes here are full of CDs from the Gaylord. So there's actually more than what I showed you. Those are ones that are not worth scanning for Amazon. I mean, if I had, big table and then I had a Gaylord dumper and I would just lift it up and slowly push it over and they would fall onto this big table, and I could go through it a lot quicker that way instead of having to bend over and put it on the table and whatnot. Oh, it does seem fast? Okay. Well, I've done it in about 3.5 to 4 hours is the fastest, but that's without separating them. If I don't separate them, if I only put aside like video games, busted ones on the side, loose CDs, then I can do it a little faster, probably shave like an hour or so off of it. But yeah, so for it was a little bit longer than it usually takes me, but so I won't get to scanning today, but I'll start scanning tomorrow morning. I'll spend probably a good in the morning. I'll do another 3.5 hours, and then maybe a little bit of work in the afternoon. I'm gonna go home soon here. Kids got to eat and everything. 1 second, Mike. But tomorrow I'll probably get. I don't know if I'll get through all the CDs, scanning all of them, because the thing is about scanning, and I can't make a video while I'm scanning because I'm using my phone. So unfortunately, I won't be able to do that unless I were to get another another cell phone and stream live, or just shoot it from a video camera and then upload the video. But yeah, so I won't be able to do that live. But anyway, so I'll be scanning tomorrow for all, the whole day. I probably won't finish though, because it's not just scan. So the way I do it is I scan, so because you guys aren't going to see, so I scan, and if it's something, so I'll know once the information pops up on FBA scan, I know right away whether it's worth doing merchant fulfilled or FBA. And then if it's worth doing either of those, what I do is I take a Post-it, put it on there, and I put the price I'm going to list it and the condition. And then if it's merchant fulfilled, I'll put MF. Otherwise, it's FBA. And so I do that just so that when I go to list it, because I don't use an automatic repricer, I'll stick the price in there when I'm listing on AccelerList, and then it'll go in, and the price, when it goes live, it'll be the price that I assign to it. And then, after it's live, I'll reprice if I need to. But that's basically what I do. So that takes a little longer. Okay, so sorry. So you said what percentage approximately were there that were worthy of reselling it? So I don't know yet. I'll tell you once I've scanned. So probably next week, beginning of next week, I'll make a video once I'm done scanning. And I've gone through everything. Hopefully by the end of Monday, I'll be done scanning. Fingers crossed. And then Tuesday, I'll start. So when I'll be done scanning, and then if all goes well by Monday, not only done scanning, but I'll have boxed up the rest of them, so that all I have to do is take the FBA and merchant fulfilled stuff and a few eBay things here and there, not too many individual stuff. I'll take all that home, and then I'll list FBA first, just to, get it out of there. And I'll try to finish that on Tuesday, FBA and merchant fulfilled, depending on how many there are. And assuming software is working well, sometimes there's issues, connecting it to Amazon, things happen. But if everything goes smoothly, hopefully by Tuesday, I'll be done listing. And then ideally I'll list and then I'll ship, at the latest by Wednesday, which would be a week. So I'll know by then anyway. I'll know by once I'm done scanning what percentage were good for sale on Amazon. What's the average cost of a Gaylord? So for media, okay. So I pay $65 for books, for a book Gaylord, and then I pay $225 for only CDs. I think I was paying $200 for mixed media. So that's CDs, DVDs, video games, everything else, right? But I get them just CDs because that's what I want to focus on. Because otherwise I get so many DVDs in a mixed media, a Gaylord, that it's, takes a lot of time with eBay. JD, do you clean or recase any of the CDs? Do you grade them when you list? So do I clean? If the CD needs to be resurfaced, I resurface it. It's a low percentage though, probably less than 10%, probably closer to 5%. I'll recase it if it's cracked. So look at this. So this whole stack here, all the way down there, all the way up are all CD cases that I can use, empty ones. They don't have any cracks. These over here are the bottoms, or the backs rather. And then here I've got some front and front over there. And then I've got some that have like 2 trays and that type of stuff. So I put those to the side as I go through for CDs. Whoops. CDs that I throw out, don't need, whatever, for a variety of reasons. I stock them up there, and then if I have one for Amazon, either FBA or merchant fulfilled, I try not to have any that have cracks in them. I've sold before with cracks in them. As long as you just disclose it in the condition notes, it shouldn't be a big deal, but I try not to send them out like that. So they're not new cases, but they are without cracks, and it varies. Some have more wear than others. Do you grade them when you list? So I put the grade on the post-it when I'm scanning, and then when I go to list, I'll only have the goods. I'll have the goods together, the very goods, and if there's any like news, and I'll do them that way. Usually most are good. There'll be some very good, some like new. I'll do those separately so I can have condition notes just for those through the listing software. Thank you, Lynn. Going well so far. Marcus, do you use EcoPro 2 units? Yeah, so I use EcoPro. I don't know if it's the 2 or the first one. I can't remember now, but it is from EcoPro. Yeah, Elm USA, I think it's called. But yeah, I use that one. And then what's your cutoff value for sending one to FBA? So right now for FBA, I'm trying to make, so I had it at $3 profit, but I would say I would send one in if it's going to make $2 to $2.50 profit, if it's going to sell really fast, or it seems like it will, but I'll try to stay really close to $3 profit for FBA. The same for merchant fulfilled. I don't mind going down to like $2.50 for merchant fulfilled because I'm not sending it in, incurring that extra cost, but still I want to stay close to $3 on average. Of course I want way more profit than that, but you know, you can, this is I've talked about this a lot on different videos where you can focus on the higher price stuff and only send in stuff, let's say, that profits you $10, and you'll have a smaller inventory, but you'll sell less, but you'll make more per sale. Or you can send in all the high price stuff and all the lower price stuff, you know, whatever your cutoff is, and have a bigger inventory and sell more often. So it just depends on what your cost of goods are and what your system is, or what you have access to. Are you using the EcoPro if it shows minor scratches or if it won't play? So I don't try to play it. So I will, if it has a scratch that I can feel with my nail, then it's probably not going to come out, but I'll try to resurface it. But if I see deeper scratches, I'll always try to resurface that. If it's, a lot of times it has like what look like kind of small scratches, but you can't feel them. Usually those are going to play okay, but I'll usually resurface those if it has a lot of them, just so it looks better. So when the person gets it, you know, but I won't, it's got to have a lot of them. Like some of them, you just have a couple of those here and there, but others will be like, they'll have them all over the place. Like someone, you know, ran the CD over like hardwood floor. Can I break down rank? Oh, okay. Oh, time it takes to sell. So, well, first of all, I would say that I said this I think yesterday, usually with CDs on Amazon, I try to stay under, for FBA, I try to stay under 300,000 rank. If it gets over 300,000, then I'm probably going to look to see if I can sell it merchant fulfilled, unless it's going for a lot of money. There's no other FBA offers. There's hardly any offers at all. It has a few sales a year, but consistently, you know, so if it's like 300, over 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, that's something that's probably going to take a little while longer. But so that's usually what I usually stick to under that. I don't even like to get into the 200,000s with FBA very often. Only if I'm the only FBA offer and there's not that many offers at all, and the merchant fulfilled offer is a little higher. Depending on how high the merchant fulfilled offer is, though, I might just do merchant fulfilled. So I never do like million rank CDs, 500,000 rarely. For merchant fulfilled, I'll do it. I'll do 500,000 to 1,000,000, but I won't do much more than 1,000,000. I mean, honestly, like usually you see like 1,000,000 rank CD and it hasn't sold in over a year. It's different than books. 1,000,000 ranked book could sell, a copy a month, or more than a copy a month. So with CDs, once you get over like 500,000, there's hardly any sales over a whole year. So that's why I try to stay usually under 200,000 for FBA. And then for merchant fulfilled, I don't care if it's 500, 800,000, as long as there's enough money I can make there. And I feel that I can compete for the next sale. Then I don't care. I'll have it sit on my shelf for 6 months or a year or whatever. And then hopefully eventually it'll sell. Do you ever seal CDs when you send to FBA to avoid a CD falling out when it is at Amazon facility or loss of a CD? So I don't bag, I don't shrink wrap, but what I do so I'll check the case. So as I list, I'll do this, where I'll just grab the top. So I'm not grabbing the back. And, and sometimes they'll open pretty easy like that. Let me see. This one though, doesn't really open. So this one doesn't open too easy, but sometimes it'll just open super easy. And as I'm listing, and then I have little circular transparent seals that you can get from like Staples. I think I put a link to it on Amazon in most of my videos below in the description. Not in this one right now because I haven't gone home yet to put it up, but the rest of them. And I'll put it up after I do the video. But I just put them over here. I put the seal, like I put it right here so that it won't open easily. And that usually, prevents hopefully prevents somebody from falling out or somebody, trying to steal it or whatever. How long did you sell CDs before getting the Eco Pro? I prefer to build capital for a while before investing. I didn't buy the Eco Pro for probably a year plus, because when I first got into CDs, I was trying it out, seeing how it would go, and then I was pleasantly surprised as I built my inventory that I was selling a lot of them. So after it was definitely more than a year, maybe even longer, because my first source for CDs was it was bulk, but it wasn't in Gaylords. It was a guy who did books, had a warehouse space near where I lived, actually. I was surprised. And he was selling just books, and he had access to tons of media. So he sold me all his CDs. He would box them up, and it was pretty cool. It was way easier than dealing with the Gaylords. But, and I didn't use any resurfacer. I would just test the ones that I felt might have a problem, so it took a lot longer. So hey. So yeah, I waited. There's a reason you haven't tried to ungate DVD. I guess someone did tell me a way that they got ungated with a particular company, and I don't know. It might seem silly, but I just didn't want to do it. I just felt like I was overwhelmed enough with just doing CDs, and I didn't want to potentially risk my account or have any problems. So there's plenty of CDs for me to sell. So I just stuck to CDs. Really, it might seem like a really ridiculous rationale, but that's I just decided not to do it because I have access to so many CDs and I do really well with those. And I've just heard stories from other people about issues with DVDs, and I'm not saying it would happen to me, but I just wanted to not have that risk, I guess. Yeah, so uh, no problem. A Schaefer, what are you paying for the Gaylords of CDs? I'm paying 225. What is your percentage yield? Those you send to Amazon FBA versus. So on average, I send about 10. It's about 10% that go that are good for FBA, roughly 10%, and then a little bit less for merchant fulfilled. So I'm gonna let you guys know though this time around, keeping my fingers crossed. It's like super not stressful, but I'm a little anxious because tomorrow I'll start doing the scanning, and I still, I don't know what the percentage is going to be. Usually it's around 10%. So usually I'll get like anywhere between on the low end 130 to as many as 200. I've gotten over 200 from one Gaylord for just FBA. Now that was before I was doing merchant fulfilled. I'd been doing merchant fulfilled, but I hadn't been, listing at all for a long time. And so I've gotten into that this last year to diversify more, to make more money and sell more of the stuff that I get. So so yeah, it's probably I would like to get anywhere between 15 to 20% going to Amazon, merchant fulfilled, and FBA, ideally. But we'll see when I start scanning tomorrow if I'm gonna get that many. But yeah, on the low end, about 130 for FBA. Individual CDs, and then on the high end a little over 200, but I've usually around like 180. Oh no, I just heard, Michael, like people that sell DVDs had like counterfeit issues. I'm not saying everybody did or that it was like, across the board or whatever, but I just heard enough stories from people getting their accounts either suspended or whatnot, getting into trouble, even though they weren't intentionally trying to deceive anybody or sending in counterfeit DVDs. But I guess when it comes to that stuff, they're a little more strict. Amazon is a little more strict, kind of like they got strict on certain textbooks because there were people who were a company or certain companies who were yeah, who were counterfeiting. So. I've heard that over the years since when I started, in 2014 is when I started on Amazon. No, I didn't. I didn't, Steve. I don't know if that's a joke. Why do you focus on CDs rather than books? So number one, so a couple reasons are they're smaller, more lightweight, so that's good for being able to buy a lot more at once, and it's easier for me to store them for merchant fulfilled and also for me to ship them in. It's cheaper to FBA, and it's cheaper when they sell because their dimensions and weight is less, so there's a little less there in terms of that. And the reason I was only doing books when I first started, but that was before I got into bulk. So when I started to dip into CDs, I got pretty excited about it because I was finding a lot of great ones. And books are just bigger, heavier. They are cheaper in bulk, but oh yeah. What do you call it? So yeah, so that was one of the things. And then as I got into bulk, books were just overwhelming for me to deal with. So the only way that I've been able to get back into them at all is my source now will take back the duds, because before I was having to dispose of them myself. So you quickly get inundated with so many books. That's why the only way to do bulk is you got to fly through the Gaylords to find the good stuff, and then ideally you do merchant fulfilled, and then you either throw some up on eBay, or you do a book sale like in your warehouse kind of a deal to make more money off of the books because there's a much lower percentage that you can sell online from the book Gaylords than from CDs. And I'm not, I'm not opposed. Like, there's people that I know that I see in the Facebook groups that started pretty recently doing bulk books and are doing really well. I know one guy, I don't know him, but I see him post a younger guy who has a partner and they're doing like a tractor trailer load, a Mack truck, which is like over 50 Gaylords a week. But they're doing like 10, 12 Gaylords a day and they're just flying through them, only doing FBA. And then the rest of the books that they aren't able to sell, they're just tossing them into Gaylords, go through it, scan, toss, go really fast, build up their FBA inventory, and they're not doing merchant fulfilled, they're not doing eBay, they're not doing book sales, they're not doing anything like that. That's the way to go if you just want to do volume. But like I said, books are they're heavier, they take up more space. It doesn't mean that it's not worth it to do it in bulk. But I just found that CDs are a little easier. I mean, there's things about CDs that are lame, like having to resurface some of them, like having to replace the cases. The cases are easily broken, that kind of stuff. There's negatives to it. Okay, 5 minutos.
Right now. No, it's not mine. It's on the sister. So, yeah. Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's a lot of books. I mean, that guy said he was. That guy's. Hold on, Papa. Yeah, that guy said he was doing 14 Gaylords a day. I asked him, but it was him, his partner, and 2 workers, so it's 4 of them. Not just sorting, scanning, listing, shipping every day. That's what he said. So clearly you can't do that by yourself. By myself, book Gaylords, I could get through probably faster because I can just toss all the duds, not even think about it. I could probably do a couple a day. I don't know how many. I've never tried. Maybe I could do 3 or 4 a day in like 4 or 5 hour period. Maybe I could do 2 or 3. But see, the problem is if you don't have a dumper, it's really difficult with books because they're heavy and everything, and you've got to get in there and pull them out, pull the Gaylord over. Oh, sorry. No. If you have a dumper, a Gaylord dumper, you can put a Gaylord in there, dump it over onto a big table, or a conveyor belt. All of this, is more involved, and then you can go through it and toss it into other Gaylords, and you can have a whole big deal going. That's what all the big sellers do. I try. Did you toss the empty cases, or resell the empty? No, I keep empty cases that are in good condition. They don't have cracks. I keep those. I don't throw them away. What's the most expensive CD?
No, stay over there. You get it.
I think the most expensive CD might have been on eBay, actually. I know I sold a CD for close to $100 on eBay, but I've sold a lot on Amazon for anywhere between like 50 to like $80 in that range. I've sold a good amount, not thousands, but like a lot, dozens, whatever, more than that. And I've sold tons between $20 and $50, probably like hundreds and hundreds of them, probably more than that. I don't know, because I've sold thousands of CDs, but yeah, I haven't sold a CD for like hundreds of dollars yet, but I've sold for around $100. Probably sold one on eBay for over 100. I can't remember exactly.
Te ayudo. Mañana. Mañana llega. How are you? Good. Well, let's go. They're done. Yeah.
No, sí, no. No, de allí no.
¿Dónde viajan?
No. A CD Gaylord weighs less than a book Gaylord, but I'm not sure exactly how much it weighs. A book Gaylord is extremely heavy. I'm not sure actually. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But it's easy to move around if you have a pallet jack. Book Gaylords can be pretty. Yeah, they're pretty heavy. So I'm probably gonna, if you guys have any other questions, let me know, or comments. I'm pretty excited to scan the what I have, because I kind of been chomping at the bit for a while to get out bigger shipments. Last year, if you watched any of my videos in the summer, I had I had a bunch of CD Gaylords that I hadn't gotten to, and I went through like 3 of them, 4 of them, I can't remember, and I sent in like 800, 900 CDs over a couple of months and saw a huge boost in sales. And so I'm just trying to build up my inventory again and get larger, more consistent sales so that I can do other things. What I'm basically trying to do is grow by myself to the point to where I can't do it anymore in the storage unit, and I have to get like a warehouse space for to increase my my output. I'm trying to work with what I have, see how big I can build up the inventory by myself, knowing that if I get help, I can double or triple that, more than likely. Okay, guys. So let's see. You guys came late, so I'll just do another tour. Here's the empty Gaylord, which was it was a little wet on the bottom, which was weird. I never got one like that, but that's the empty one. I have 1 more of CDs, and then I have 2 of books. Hello, I found this kid in there, and no, and then another book.
Hi. Hello.
All right, thank you. And then so all of these CDs are going to be scanned. I'm going to start scanning those tomorrow. This pile here, or all these piles are to be scanned, and then these are just going to go get boxed up. Those are no good. And then these have already been boxed up. They're no good for Amazon. And then down here, I'm going to have to see if I can match any of those up once I'm done scanning. All right, guys, I hope you have a good night, and please give me a thumbs up. I see a lot of you gave